All right, you guys, so it is about 40 degrees out. We get a nice day and then we get a cold day, and then we get a nice day and then we get a cold day. So I'm heading over to Newcastle, Harley Davidson. Tanner has an appointment to get his motorcycle serviced. Wait till you guys see his bike. He has I believe it's a 2009 Dyna, and this thing has like 3,000 miles on it. It's they call it black ice, but it's a matte black ice. I've never seen this before, so it's really cool color. It's like a purple translucent, has a bunch of like flake in it, kind of color changes, and I think it's a really cool looking bike. It's a one-off color. I had the black ice, blue ice, street glide, so it's kind of like that. So I'm gonna meet him. We're gonna go get some tacos. We're gonna eat some tacos here at a local Mexican restaurant. All right, so this ride is gonna be a little longer than expected. They shut down like the main route that I take to get into Newcastle, so I had to do a big loop. Gonna go buy some cool stuff here. So we're going down through the town of Lowville. There's this abandoned train building over here to the right that everybody goes and checks out. A lot of cool graffiti on it. Well, we're gonna go through this small little city here, and then we're gonna hop back up onto 224, and we're gonna get ourselves into Newcastle. We're gonna go to Los Amigos, one of my favorite Mexican joints to eat at. I don't know if I'm gonna get tacos. I kind of wanted to do this like the thrashing videos and we're gonna go get some tacos, but when I go there I get this dish that's called the Mexicali. It's almost like a stir fry, so it's got your traditional Mexican vegetables in there, and then I get the mixed, which is steak and chicken, and it's just smothered in everything good. It's got that white queso melted over it, and then has a bunch of rice and every vegetable you can imagine. So we'll get you that content up, because if there's one thing I love in this world, it's motorcycles. If there's two things I love in this world, it's food. So if I can combine the two, looks like we're off to a great start. By the way, I am wearing gloves on this video, so these gloves here are Harley Davidson gloves. They go up a little bit higher on the wrist. They keep me nice and comfortable when we're riding in chillier weather. I also have a brand of Torque motorcycle gloves, which are brown leather, which you'll see me wearing on here quite a bit. They have stitching down on the bottom of them. It's like white and black. They're more of an old school glove, and they fit really nice. These are a little more heavy duty. They're a little more winter rated glove. And then I did also order a set of thrashing gloves. I know what you guys are saying. Gonna be like everybody else out here with some thrashing gloves and some Dixons, but one thing I could always say, if everybody's wearing them, that means they're good. And then before that, I always wore mechanics gloves. That's what I wore when I rode BMX, just a pair of fast fit mechanics gloves. But all right, you guys, I'm not gonna bore you with too much of cutting through this town. Right, so we're getting ready to pull into Los Amigos. I don't know if Tanner's here yet, but I'm here. That's all that matters. So we'll get in there, we'll get situated, we'll check out the menu, and we'll let you guys know what's going on. It is absolutely freezing out here, you guys. Not absolutely freezing. It's about 40 degrees. So there's the bike. Absolutely gorgeous. One of the funnest riding motorcycles I have ever rode from Harley Davidson. All right, so we're just sitting down to look at the menu. Tanner rode in. His hands are blistered and red. He forgot his gloves at home. So we're gonna get some food. We're gonna head over to Newcastle Harley. I'll show you what I get. I'm getting the Mexicali. Like I said, it's gonna be the mixed. Get the chicken and the steak. Do it like a big boy. Got that Simpson chilling out. Mine's in the mail, so still waiting for that to come in. All right, so the official consensus, absolutely delicious. It should be good. Thank you. Should be good. Thank you. This dude orders one quesadilla lunch size and smashes it in 5 seconds. It's pretty good. Can't complain. For Newcastle, Pennsylvania, I'd probably give it a 10. 100%. Tanner out here. No gloves having. 40 degrees out. Ice cold, freezing. Said he left his house, he checked his bar bag, and he only had one glove in there. But he said, screw it, he's got to ride his bike so he can get it serviced. He's gonna lead the way, because I'm not from these parts. Well, I should have wore thermals. Because the only thing that's cold right now are my legs, but that's also because the M8 does run a little bit cooler than the twin cams. I still can't believe Tanner is not wearing gloves. His hands were red, like they looked like a lobster when you first throw it into a pot and it starts steaming up. I said, man, I feel bad for you. Why don't you ask some of the people back there cooking if they could give you some rubber gloves? Because I don't know if you guys know the trick, but whenever it's really cold out, you're riding your motorcycle, if you just throw regular rubber gloves under your leather gloves, you'll be sweating. That's normally what I do if it's below 30 degrees. So we are coming around the bend towards Newcastle Harley Davidson. You can see the sign off here in the distance. We're gonna get over and we're gonna get ready to turn. Lunch was absolutely amazing. That's got to be one of my favorite places to eat lunch in the area. Man, this place is packed. And it's all cars. It's literally all cars. But here we are, we made it. Since you're coming for service, I would park it down there. Yeah, you see Tanner rubbing his hands together. He needs some gloves. Yeah, this color is pretty cool. It's not a color you see all the time. It's actually a very, very rare color. How's it going? Yeah, he's got to get a service done, I guess. Yeah, I think it's time to head upstairs and check out some gloves. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I heard you. I seen it. 19 grand. 19 grand for a Pan America special. That's not bad. So Tanner is checking his bike in. We're gonna head upstairs. Tanner is upstairs right now buying gloves because his hands were absolutely frozen. So I am extremely excited about this bike behind me. As you guys can see, this icon. It's an absolutely gorgeous motorcycle. I'm excited that Harley is still doing this. So I'm going to show you a couple more things. We're going to get a little closer on this bike. This guy walks in here for 5 minutes, drops a grease tube off the counter onto the floor.
Slow down.
Tanner in here talking about his tattoos. He's got like 3 of them.
2. Man, I thought you drove your Jeep for a second. Had some wheels. That nice, boy.
Had to come stop, talk to James,
That was cool.
the parts man.
I guess I'm keeping it. Of course you will. Emily.
Tanner can't decide between keeping his motorcycle or buying another one. The age-old debate of the Harley rider. He did.
It's already done. I think they're here today.
James hooked him up with some switchblades. Ooh. Tanner was thinking about getting rid of his bike, but then James showed him what it would look like with some switchblades on it. So now he's just doing some wheels and he's keeping it. Quite a bit of really nice bikes on the floor. I honestly was not impressed with this green compared to what I seen on the site, but in the sunlight looks pretty good. You can see some of the flake in there, so take a stroll down here, see what they got. Quite a few 23s still on the floor. 23 Breakout. Seen a lot of these new road glides, but I haven't seen one in the billiard gray. I kind of like it. Gray and chrome. Not gonna lie. Got the KLX in here, 300. This bike is absolutely gorgeous. I can't believe it's still on the floor. An older road glide. 2005. 10 grand. All right, you guys, so I'm just getting ready to head back home. Spent some time up here hanging out with these guys. As always, very enjoyable to stop out here. But Tanner is going to be here for another at least hour or so getting his bike serviced. So I'm going to head home. I work early tomorrow morning, so I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do. I'm going to go mess around with the Sportster a little bit in the garage. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the pricing that we've seen. I overheard a few different conversations between some people in here looking to buy the new bikes. They're really trying to push these 23s hard because they're trying to get rid of them. They want to get them off of the floor, which I understand because Harley came out with the 24 models and they are considerably cheaper than the 23 models. So even just looking, there was a $4,000 price difference between a 2023 Ultra and a 2024 Ultra. The 23 model Street Glide Special was coming in at like $32,000, $33,000 around there, and you can get a 24 Street Glide in a basic configuration with the chrome accessories on it for $27,000. So you're talking quite an increase to get an older bike. it's going to be really hard for them to move them units, I feel like. But if you did want a 2023 model, you're going to pay $5,000 more for a 2023 than you're going to pay for a brand new 2024 with all the new features of the 24. So it's just really hard for me to understand why they did that. Now, I understand that Harley is expressing that there is no like profit margin. So technically, all the dealers out there now, they're not making any money. They're not making a percentage off of the motorcycle itself. They're only making money off of the accessories that are sold. So they kind of cut any of that fluff out. Now, some people are saying that they don't like that. Some people are saying that they do. I am a huge fan of it because it's taking away from the markup. So going forward, you're going to see a lot of uniformity with the pricing. Everything is going to be relatively the same. You're not able to actually charge way more money for the same motorcycle just because of what dealership you are going to. So there were dealerships out there that put like a $4,000 or $5,000 markup on the bikes. They're not able to do that anymore. One thing that I did notice was some of the larger corporate dealerships that I did go to recently, they still have higher pricing on those bikes. I don't understand how they're doing it or why people are buying from them. But when that motorcycle says that it is $26,000 MSRP, and you go to sit numbers and it's saying $32,000, there's nothing that should be bringing you to that point. You should be paying what the MSRP is or close to it. Matter of fact, you should be paying a little bit less because the dealers should be cutting you a deal, because let's face it, they're not paying for MSRP for them bikes. When I worked at a Harley Davidson dealership, I was able to see pricing. A couple of my good friends in there actually bought and sold the bikes, like they did the inventory online. I was able to see what the bottom line price was that Harley Davidson was charging them for the bikes coming in, and them Street Glide specials were like $26,000. That's what the dealer was paying. So when I still see them marked for $33,000, I'm like, man, you know, you're trying to make $7,000, if not more, profit off of every unit that you're selling. So I do like the fact that Harley is cutting them margins. What that means for us, once they cut these margins down, that means everything will be more fair. That means a level playing field. That means that bikes selling in Los Angeles, California are going to retail more closely to the bikes selling in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. I'm in favor of capitalism 100%, but I'm not in favor of middlemans. I'm not in favor of the guy in the middle taking the money off the top for doing nothing. So, to me, I think it's good for the consumer, which is who it should be focused on anyways. We're the ones keeping the company floating. So, we're going to buy the aftermarket parts. We're going to pay your service to put them on. You should be making a percentage, but it shouldn't be 20%, you know, on the back of your customer. We're also, the average person out here working is probably making somewhere between $30,000 to $70,000. That's about the average income in this country. Where I live at, the average income's probably around $35,000, $40,000 a year. I don't understand how people live on that. But with that being said, you're selling a bike that costs $30,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. People are really deciding whether or not they're going to eat food today or whether they're going to buy a motorcycle.